Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
I'm so glad you could join us today because, it's early 2026. And usually, this far out from a World Cup, we'd be talking about player depth charts, maybe who the next big fly half is.
Right, or debating breakdown laws again.
Exactly. But today is different. We're looking at something that on paper sounds a bit dry. We're looking at calendars, flight paths, and believe it or not, time zones.
It does sound mundane when you just say logistics, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But really, this is the hidden game. It's where these huge tournaments are actually won and lost, long before a ball is even kicked.
That's it. And that's why this is so important. We're diving into the 2027 World Cup in Australia. Specifically, we're asking why Rassie Erasmus, a man who is basically playing 4D chess, is already sounding the alarm about one particular week in October 2027.
Well, panic might be a strong word for Rassie, but he is definitely flagging a major concern. He spotted a logistical trapdoor that could derail the Springboks' entire bid for a hat-trick of titles.
The third consecutive World Cup. I mean, that's history right there. But the big obstacle might not be the All Blacks or the Wallabies. It might actually be the Australian continent itself. Now, before we get into all that, I have to ask you, our listener, for one quick favor. If you want to stay ahead of the game on the road to 2027, just hit that subscribe button for Rugby Obsession right now. We'll be tracking every move so you won't miss a thing.
And trust me, you won't want to miss the details we're getting into. It really changes how you see the whole tournament layout.
Okay, so let's set the scene. The source for this is an article by Craig Lewis, Rassie Erasmus flags early concern for 2027 World Cup. And to get the concern, we first have to get the new landscape. This isn't the same World Cup format we're used to. It's now a 24-team tournament.
That's the big change, yeah. World Rugby has expanded it. The idea is great, grow the game, get more nations on the biggest stage. We all want to see that.
But there is a downside to that expansion, isn't there, when we talk about the pool stages?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And it's not about being disrespectful to the smaller nations. It's just a numbers game. You expand to 24, and you inevitably get some lopsided results, as the article puts it.
Which is a nice way of saying we're going to see some absolute blowouts.
Almost certainly. And that creates a very specific problem for a team like South Africa. They're in Pool B, their opponents: Italy, Georgia, and Romania.
Let's just sit with that for a second. Italy, Georgia, Romania. Now, Italy has definitely improved, and Georgia's always physical, but for a team that wants to win the whole thing.
It's a comfortable draw. I mean, there's just no other way to spin it. In 2023, they had Ireland and Scotland. That was a total war just to get out of the pool. This is very different. The Boks should top Pool B pretty easily.
And that sounds great, right? An easy path, rest your players. Why is that a problem?
Because it's a false reality. You spend a month playing games. You're winning by 40, 50 points. You're not being tested. Your systems aren't under real Tier 1 pressure.
Right, and then the whole format shifts because of this new round of 16.
Exactly. So they'll win their pool, then they'll play a third-place finisher from another pool. Again, a game they should win comfortably.
So you could be 5, maybe 6 weeks into the tournament and not have played a single top-tier nation.
And that's the danger. It's like the boiling frog. You get comfortable, maybe a little complacent, and then boom, the difficulty curve just shoots straight up.
And this is where the bracket becomes so important, because of the quarterfinal, that's the collision point.
This is what Rassie is laser focused on. The way the seeding works, if everything goes as expected, the winner of South Africa's path, they're on a direct collision course with the winner of Pool A.
And who's in Pool A?
The All Blacks and Australia.
So wait, let me get this straight. You cruise through your pool, win your round of 16 match, and then, with almost no real ramp-up, your reward is a quarterfinal against either the All Blacks in a repeat of the 2023 final or the hosts, Australia, on their own turf.
That's the scenario. It's a massive, massive shock to the system, physically and psychologically. You go from a training run to a do-or-die battle in 6 days.
Wow. And playing the hosts in a quarterfinal, the crowd, the atmosphere, everything.
It's hostile. There's no easing into a match like that.
Okay, so the trap is the lack of preparation. But it's more than that. Rassie isn't just worried about the rugby, he's worried about the map.
This is the difference, isn't it? A coach worries about defense. A director of rugby, like Rassie, worries about hydration at 30,000 feet.
The article quotes him. He says his operations team needs to get into the finer details of the travel. So what is the specific nightmare he's looking at?
It's that window between the round of 16 and the quarterfinal. So let's say the Boks win their round of 16 game. That match is likely to be played in Perth or Melbourne.
Perth. West coast of Australia. Okay.
But the quarterfinals, they're in Sydney or Brisbane on the East Coast.
And for anyone who doesn't know their Australian geography, that is not a short hop.
Not at all. Rassie points it out himself in the article. It's a flight of just under 5 hours. That's a transcontinental flight, like London to Cairo.
And you have to do that after a knockout game and before the biggest game of your tournament.
And here's the real kicker, the time zone.
It's only 2 hours.
It's 2 hours, but it's 2 hours you lose. Flying east is much harder on the body clock. You shorten your day, so you land in Sydney, your body thinks it's 8 p.m., the clock says 10 p.m., sleep patterns are thrown off, recovery is disrupted.
And an elite sport where every minute of sleep counts, that's a disaster. A 5-hour flight plus losing 2 hours.
It's a huge disruption to the circadian rhythm. Rassie knows this. He's not just stating a fact when he talks about travel, he's identifying a serious handicap.
And it's an unequal handicap, isn't it? Because who are their likely opponents?
Australia or New Zealand. Now, the hosts, Australia, they're not going to schedule a cross-country flight for themselves 3 days before a quarterfinal.
So the Wallabies could be camped out in Sydney for 2 weeks, sleeping in their own beds, while the Springboks are dealing with airports and jet lag.
That's the inequality. Rassie even puts a little jab in there. He says, it would be good to see their travel schedules. He's already planting that seed.
It is classic Rassie. But is it just mind games, or is this a genuine physiological disadvantage?
Oh, it's absolutely genuine. We saw it in Super Rugby for years. The Perth factor is a real thing. Teams are often flat after that trip. You can be the better team, but if your reaction times are just a few % slower because of travel fatigue, you lose to the All Blacks. Simple as that.
And before we walk through the actual dates, which really paints the picture, I just want to remind you again, if you're enjoying this kind of deep dive analysis, please take a second and subscribe to Rugby Obsession. It helps us a lot, and it means you'll always be in the know.
Yeah, you've got to, just to keep up with Rassie's planning.
For sure. Okay, so let's visualize this road trip for the Boks. It starts October 3rd.
Yep, October 3rd, they play Italy and Adelaide. So that's base camp 1.
A week later, October 10th, they're up against Georgia.
And that's in Brisbane, so that's the first move. Adelaide to Brisbane, about a 2.5-hour flight.
Then, October 17th, the final pool game against Romania.
And for that, they fly all the way across the continent to Perth, a proper long haul. So they finish the pools on the West Coast.
Okay, so they're in Perth. The round of 16 is the next weekend, October 23rd or 24th.
And the venues are listed as Perth or Melbourne. So best case scenario, they get to play that game in Perth and stay put for 2 weeks.
But then, the nightmare. The quarterfinals, October 30th or 31st.
And those are in Sydney or Brisbane. So let's play it out. You finish a tough physical game in Perth on a Saturday night. Sunday morning, you have to pack up the entire operation, get on a 5-hour flight, lose 2 hours. You land Sunday night totally drained. Monday is a write-off.
And you're playing the All Blacks or Wallabies that Saturday.
Exactly. You get maybe 3 good training days to prepare for the biggest match of the cycle, while your opponent has been settled for a week.
That has to impact your selections, right? Rassie talks about managing the players.
It does. Do you rest your stars against Romania? Yes. Do you rest them for a knockout round of 16 game? That's a huge risk. But if they play 80 minutes and then do that travel, are they at 100% for the quarters? It's a massive gamble.
Or a real catch-22. Rotate and risk losing cohesion, or don't rotate and risk losing to fatigue.
And the Springbok game, it's all based on brutal physicality. The bomb squad, the defense, if they're at 90% because of travel, their whole system is compromised.
So just to sum this all up, the Springboks get what looks like a dream draw, an easy pool, but it's actually a Trojan horse. It lulls them into this false sense of security before leading them straight into a logistical ambush right when they're about to face their toughest opponent.
That's a perfect summary. It's a trap disguised as an easy ride.
So I want to turn this over to you, the listener. We've laid out the facts, the flight times. What do you think? Is this travel fatigue a real, genuine concern that could cost them the World Cup? Or is this just classic Rassie playing mind games, creating that siege mentality a year and a half out?
It really is the ultimate Rassie question. Is he genuinely worried, or is he just expertly shaping the narrative?
Let us know what you think. Drop your opinions in the comments section. Is the schedule unfair or just part of the challenge?
I'll definitely be reading those. I'm really curious to see if people buy the logistics argument or if it sounds like an excuse.
And one last time before we go, we are going to be following every single step of this journey to 2027. So please hit that subscribe button for Rugby Obsession. It really does support the show and keeps you in the loop.
We've got a lot more to talk about as we get closer.
We certainly do. Thank you for listening to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive, and we'll look forward to you listening to our next episode.